Welcome back, you beautiful people, and today is a questioning day. We all know that the Enduro bike is capable of all kinds of disciplines, from downhill, enduro, XC, dirt jumps, big jumps in a bike park, to freeride lines in the mountains. It's like it's the bike to go for. But before you start dreaming about that all lovely, such nice Enduro bike, have you ever thought of this? This is the Hardtail. Some of you viewers probably have one in your garage. This is probably the only bike you have. But we get a number of questions down below and in our social media on questions like, can this bike hit a 20-foot jump? Can this bike race downhill? Can this bike race enduro? Can it do XC? Can it do freeride lines? Well, today is one of those days where I'm going to tick off all the things that this beast is capable of. So let's kick it off. Right, this is my Nuke-Proof Scout Comp, and this is an aggressive hardtail. And what this means is that this head angle is super slack. It has 140 mil of travel up front. The frame is super rigid. It has a low BB, and you can throw anything at this bike and it'll take it on. Whether it's embracing your spirit for adventure or tackling all those single track trails in your woods, to your local pump track, to your local dirt jumps, even racing some four cross, downhill or enduro racing, this thing is built for it. Okay, let's get down to business, because we need to know what this thing can do. And I've got a few things I want to throw at it to test it. And I've come to the perfect testing ground to do all of this, and this is Chicksands Bike Park in Bedfordshire in the UK. And it caters for a number of different disciplines, from single track loop to four cross to dirt jumping to dual slalom to mini downhill to free ride stuff. So there's all the disciplines covered. I'm going to see if this thing can do the whole bike park with ease. Let's go! Right, four cross racing. Speed, aggression, everything. If you don't know what four cross is all about, basically it's four riders racing against each other down a track which is on a slope. It's downhill, but there's a number of jumps, there's a number of turns, there's big gaps. There's some different obstacles out there that you have to navigate yourself through against the other three riders. So I'm gonna go flat out, I'm gonna pedal in turns, I'm gonna see if this bike can handle it, if it's got the grip. Let's do it. Wow. For four cross is one discipline I haven't done for ages. It's all about power and getting that power down. Hang on. Right, I got my breath back. Talking about getting your power down to that rear wheel to get the speed, because you need a lot of speed, especially for those big jumps like that triple there and that double double down there into that turn. You need to get as much power down to that rear wheel as possible. But when you're having a full suspension, like if I was to ride my Scott Genius on this track, I'm gonna have to be locking out that rear suspension to get as much power down as possible to clear those jumps. I've actually got 35 PS on this. I've lifted it a little bit, but I don't want that tire to deform in the turns, because I want to get as much speed as possible to clear these jumps. But this bike is worthy of racing. You could race this thing on the weekend and then pedal home, like I said, or go for an enduro ride on a Sunday or the Monday. Wow, let's move on to the next challenge. Right, so you find yourself in a bike park where there's little tabletops like dirt jumps, and they get progressively bigger. which turn into doubles, which get progressively bigger and steeper, but still get bigger. So the question is, can it dirt jump? Well, look at this. Wow. Woo. I can obviously dirt jump, but can I actually do tricks? Well, here's a few simple ones on it. I've just shown you can, but there's a few things you've got to take into consideration when jumping an all-round aggressive hardtail trail bike, such like my Nuke-Proof Scout, is that the dirt jump bike's 26-inch wheels, it's hardtail. The front suspension is going to be really hard because I run quite stiff suspension up the front. These ones 140 mil of travel. My dirt jump bike 110 mil of travel, but with these they're quite soft. So you're going to find that the front end dives into the takeoff and it feels like your whole body weight is shifting into the lip, which is not a nice feeling. So you've got to take that into consideration when riding steep lips, such like these ones. Also, the front head angle is quite slack. Like I've said, it's aggressive. So it's going to be quite long. The back end is going to be long, whereas a dirt jump bike is going to be quite short and compact, steep head angle, super lightweight. And to be honest, you're running 27.5 wheels. And for me, I'm running a plus size. This is a 2.6. So my tire pressures are quite low. It feels quite sluggish on the jumps. And you've got this compression setting on these RockShox Revelations. And I just basically plussed it to make it a little bit harder. Didn't lock it out because I did want suspension when I over jumped a few jumps. So I want that front suspension to work. The dirt jump bikes, you're gonna be running quite high tire pressures, 80 PSI, 65 PSI, depending on what tire you have. Here I've got 30 PSI and these, the Barons. Wow, well, there you go. It's worthy of pedaling from home, through the woods, do some single track, get you onto the trails, drop your saddle, bust some tricks, and bust a move out. Let's move on to the next challenge. Right, next question. Can it actually downhill free ride enduro? Of course it can. I'll tell you for why. Watch this. Right, I'm going to put downhill, enduro and freeride all into one category because they kind of share all the same aspects. But what you will find with the normal hardtail that's more aimed towards XC is that your top tube's going to be a lot higher, your BB is going to be a lot higher, your wheelbase is going to be a little bit shorter, and your head angle is going to be a lot steeper compared to this all-round kind of hardtail. And by having such elements done into a normal XC bike, when it comes to descending, it's going to be quite hard to shift your body weight around, especially when it comes to steep sections where you want to keep your body weight quite far over the rear and lean back so you don't feel like you're going to go out of over the bars. Whereas with the XC bike, it kind of is more aimed towards climbing instead of descending. Right, when it comes to riding rough stuff on a hardtail, well, to be honest, it is going to be a rough ride, but it's going to be an exciting ride, that's for sure. Riding the same bit of section on an enduro bike, I found that I'm just going flat out. Don't worry about the line, I'm just going flat out, using my 150 mil of travel to soak up all of that, all those bumps. When it comes with a hardtail, I find myself concentrating a lot more. I have to guide myself through that section and find the perfect, smoothest line just to get through without getting a puncture. And when it brings me on to suspension, whereas the hardtail, you haven't got suspension, so you're going to have to use your body as the suspension. So you don't just want to sit back and relax and get through the trail, because your body needs to work extra hard just to soak up all those bumps. And by doing that, you want to keep your knees bent. You want to keep your knees bent and let that bike bounce up and down underneath you constantly, just to keep that suspension going. Ah, what about cross country? No brainer. Answers itself. From the track to the great expanse of the outdoors, yes, my friends, this is cross country. You find yourself exploring endless amount of country lanes with minimum fuss and ease. Basically, the Hardtail is designed to ride across the country with minimum fuss and back to pure mountain biking. You find yourself racing XC on the weekend and commuting to work in the weekdays, spending hours of time in that saddle. For me, the Hardtail stuck in my heart forever because my career was actually built on a Hardtail. So I've got big love for the simple Hardtail. You can't get enough of it. Super simple. Nothing to go wrong. Nice suspension bits on the back. I'm gonna go ride more. Wow. Well, there's not a lot that the trusty Hardtail can't handle. You can throw anything at it and it'll do it, really. But I'm not saying go and put a massive downhill World Cup track in front of it and try and ride down it, because you're gonna struggle, that's for sure. But if you are looking into buying a Hardtail, then look at what you're actually gonna be riding. If you're gonna be riding a lot of cross country, dirt roads, single track, with a lot more climbing involved, then look at getting a purebred cross-country bike, because that's going to benefit you a lot more on a climb. But if you're wanting an all-round kind of bike, from a little bit of downhill, free ride, enduro, XC racing, dirt jumps, racing on the four cross, whatever, well, the aggressive Hardtail will do it all with no problems, with simplicity as well, because you got none of that moving gubbins on the back for suspension. It's super simple, less fuss, and it's back to pure mountain biking. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and it's kind of giving you a little bit more of an insight to what a Hardtail can do and its limitations. I'd love to push this thing a lot more. I want to challenge it actually. I want to see how hard I can actually ride the Hardtail. But if you want to see another video, click just down here on a 5 essential skills to do in a pump track. Then over here, Hardtail versus fat bike on a pump track. Click the globe if you haven't subscribed already, because you are actually missing out on some good content, and I'll see you at the next one.